Obviously, there's really no definition for social TV at this point, which is kind of funny since we've been doing it for a while. But it really comes down to three things rather, that we call 1, 2, 3. So there's the one-screen experience, which is completely unified. So you've got video and social occurring on that exact same screen. So a good example of that, and really probably the inventor of that, would be MTV's TRL program from back in the day, where you would text in or later on tweet in, and you would see that scrolling on the bottom of the screen. The two-screen experience is obviously one where you're watching the big box on your wall, and you've got a mobile device or a laptop in your hand or in your lap, and you're participating in the conversation that way. And then the third-party fostered experience is one where you remember watching TV like on Lifetime, for instance, and you're watching Project Runway, and for each and every competitor, they've got a hashtag with that competitor's name on it, so that you're able to have a conversation, let's say on Twitter, where it might be time delayed. It might not even matter that the show is on right now. So that's really the landscape, and where this is all going is going to be a hodgepodge of the three. Obviously, the broadcast networks would love to have a world where it was all happening on one screen simultaneously, the cable networks included. Even digital video companies would like to have that same thing, where you're watching a video box and you've got a crawler or some sort of integrated experience happening right there. But it remains to be seen.
So you asked, Mark from CBS Interactive, how social TV is fitting into the media buys. Social media is a big part of what you do, but how does social video, social TV work in terms of pricing of media, buying media, the value that it brings? How do you sort that out?
Yeah, it comes from, it depends on which direction it's coming from. If it's coming from the publisher, and the publisher has created a package, let's say for a program that they have, and they include social TV activations in it, well then you're going to be buying the media, the paid media, and you'll be getting the social TV as added value. Or they might try to charge you for that social TV experience, but at some point those dollars are coming from the publisher. Whereas the flip side of that is oftentimes the client and the agency work together to put together an experience that they want to further their own objectives that have nothing to do with the pre-packaged show. And we'll create that package, and at that point we may just leverage our commercials that are running adjacent to that program, or we might create a sponsorship with a television network to create that larger experience where no dollars are really changing hands on the social side. So it depends on where the idea originates from and what the idea is at its core as to how it gets priced and where those dollars go.
And one last thing, the question of earned versus paid. Everyone talks about that. And how does earned versus media work into social TV, and how's it valued?
So for starters, and that was one of the points that was made on stage during the discussion, you've got the added benefit of having conversation taking place around your brand, or at minimum deeper engagement going on in the programs that are taking place in video, where the advertisement as it's adjacent to that is coming along for the ride. So there's a little bit of a coattail scenario that happens there. Beyond that, when a brand or an agency is creating an event or experience from scratch, like I've just described before, you are engaging people in such a way that that experience itself is going to get earned impressions on it. And sometimes that's exactly what the doctor ordered. That's what the objective is. It's to actually make this second experience that is brought to you by the brand be the main event, at least in that moment. So there's two different ways in which you can get earned impressions out of this. One is through deeper engagement in the program, which helps your brand take off because there's more engagement with that programming and your advertising and your sponsorship. And the other way is to actually have it take off from the experience that you're putting in market and have earned bring that experience to life.
And one last thing, what's the big area for growth around social TV, do you think, this year?
Second screen is something that will probably be the 2012 growth area, so the two-screen experience. You can see a lot of broadcast publishers and cable networks creating programs to engage the brand, the user, and their own viewer. I think moving further out from there, you're probably going to see the integrated one-screen experience take place. But my guess is that we're probably not going to see that until at least the end of 2013 in any critical mass anyhow. We're seeing experimentation going on all over the place. But we're a little ways away from getting to a place of critical mass on one screen.
Definitely. So I think something that's inherently different about Twitter from the very beginning, from the very design, is the invent of the asymmetrical follow. It's not necessarily a friend-to-friend network.